back to more problems with the car. What's up guys, Z628 here. Welcome to a new video of the Ford Escape. We're gonna be not replacing because they're expensive, but I'm gonna give it a shot to clean out the PTU, the power transfer unit. So I believe that is the reason why this car is making so much noise, as you can see here. At first, I thought it was an exhaust leak, and I even noticed the sound that it was loud when I first test drove after putting the transmission into this vehicle. But it has gotten worse and worse and louder over time. And at first, again, I thought it was an exhaust leak, but it's not. And I believe it's the PTU. The reason I think it's the PTU and not the transmission is, one, it shifts fine, and the sound isn't coming from like the front of the car. It literally sounds like it's coming from underneath the car while you're driving in it, and the PTU would be like right there rather than the transmission being like right there. So there's no malfunctions with it. Like the all-wheel drive I think works. There's no lights on the dash. There's nothing wrong with the all-wheel drive, at least that's what it feels like, but I've never really like tested it out because I'm driving on regular roads. But I believe that is the issue. My theory is, from when I removed the fluid originally from the PTU, it was very sludgy, and the oil it uses is 75-140, and it reeks so bad. I absolutely hate the smell of this oil. Anyways, when I replaced the fluid, it was super thick, and then when I was putting more in, and I probably have a shot of it here, I'm not sure if I'll put it in here because I like deleted all the footage, so unless I put it in the video, from my transmission removal or installation I should say, the amount that went back in before it started like coming out, because that's how you kind of pretty much replace it, is just put fluid in until it starts leaking out, and I barely would put any in and it would start leaking out. So like I've replaced it twice already. Not replaced it, but refilled it twice. And my theory is there's just so much gunk inside the PTU that it's overheating. And also I potentially have a leak. We will see that when we get in there. This isn't a tutorial. This is just kind of like a how-to, because I'm gonna have to do it and I'll show you the process. I believe this is the issue. I believe like a PTU is about $1,000, so I'm not replacing it. We'll see. I'll take it out and I'm gonna see if I can just get it fully cleaned out of there from the inside and take out all the thick sludge from the inside some way. I haven't researched how to do that, but once I take it out, then I'll look into it, and then that way it can run okay. Here's your jack point holder on these Ford Escapes. I'm using the subframe right in the middle to lift it up. We're gonna drop it on the jack stands and go from there. If you don't have like a center lift, like a jack like that, then you just have to do it like one at a time and just kind of do it. Makes it a little bit easier with that. But I lifted it quite a bit. That way I have room to work with. It's January 12th, I think, and I'm sweating. Every single one of my videos, if you go back, I'm like, okay, this is like the last week of it being hot. It should clear out soon. It's still hot. We got it on the jack stands. What I like to do now is, to make sure I'm good, just push the hell out of the car to see if it's good. This is what we're looking at here. So you can see there is a leak coming from the PTU, and it's an actual pretty severe one. But you can see that oil, it's super black. So now, that is for sure the reason why it's making more noise as time is going, because less fluid in there and it's overheating. But you can see it's already super black, even though we've put less than 1,000 miles probably on this thing. Pretty much the steps are, we won't have to take off this hose, even though this is leaking too of pure oil. So there's an oil leak on this thing too. Don't know from where. I'll have to check if it's the hose or if it's coming from above. Anyways, it's a fucking Ford. It's such a hunk of shit. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to take off this CV axle. So take the wheel off, CV axle, then that one will come off there. The other CV axle is connected to the actual transmission. I think this one has like a bigger pole that goes through to the other side of the PTU. I'm like 99% sure it does. So I believe I have to take off both of those. So take out the CV axles. Once we get those taken out, then we'll take the heat shield out up there. We have to take the axle, the drive shaft bolts out, which are either here or a little bit deeper over there, and then take out these bolts. And I think that's it. Like there's, you know, like this thing here, little holders here and there, but I think that's it for what we have to take out. Not fun, but not as hard as the transmission. So for the hub, we're gonna need 32 millimeter, or the axle nut or whatever. 32 millimeter, this is gonna be pain because last time it was a pain. I'm gonna grab my hearing protection. Hopefully this goes easier than before, because last time this sucked. I don't know why this one's like hard the whole time to take out, but there's just a screwdriver here, that way it doesn't move, and then you can do it without having to use the brakes or anything. All right, that was better than before, but again, I took these out less than 1,000 miles ago. It's time to remove the CV axle, which last time sucked my ass. So now we have to take out the lower boot, whatever, that part right there. What's it called? Ball joint, lower ball joint. So we have to take that out so we can take out the CV axle. All right, so for the ball joint, you need a 15 millimeter on one of the sides, like the head nut, and then an 18 for the actual nut on this side. So you just need both of these here, and then pretty much just kind of do them opposite wise to take it out. So one is just to hold the nut, and then you can use the other one to do it. I'm gonna try to do it with the impact actually. Yep. Okay. So get that nut out. We'll just leave it there, get the other side done, and then that way we can take it out with like a little hammer or something. I'm just keeping all the nuts organized on each side. I would highly suggest one of these, makes it a lot easier. So we're gonna need that, and then I'll grab a hammer, that way we can hammer the nut out. Makes it a little bit easier. Jeremy Clarkson's favorite tool, hammer. You hammer that out, comes out nice and easy. Organize all these parts. Perfect. Pretty much just need to lower this guy down so we can take the ball joint off of there. But first, let's pop a 61-cent energy drink. I think this is the first video with my head mount, so hopefully the angles are good for you guys. If not, I sincerely apologize. But now what we're doing here is pretty much getting this fork in between here. Try not to damage the rubber on here, but pretty much we're gonna get it in there. That way we can separate the ball joint from the wheel hub brake caliper area. And before you guys judge me, I am listening to the Fast and Furious 1 soundtrack, if you guys hear it in the background, because I made a TikTok with the Ja Rule song. Anyways, don't judge me. I'm not trying to be like Vin Diesel. Family. I'm too fat and retarded to be him. All right. Oh man. This is so much easier than before. Just like that. This is weird. I have a suspicion that something's gonna come up and it's gonna be a pain in the ass, or something bad, because this is just too easy now, right? We're just gonna push the part off and then move that out of the way and pretty much pull this out with the CV axle, because that is gonna have to fully come out. I'm gonna take off this right here. I forgot to take that off. That way it doesn't snag up too much for the brake line there. I believe that's an 8mm, I think. Yeah, it's an 8mm. Make sure to take that off just because you don't want to snag that line up. And take out the axle. And there we go. Right side axle's out. This normally isn't as easy as it looks. When I did this the first time when I first bought this car, this was such a pain in the ass. So if you're doing this job and you're like, how is this guy doing it so easy? It's because I just did this a month ago with less than 1,000 miles in the car, all of this. If you want to check out those videos, go on my channel, like and subscribe. Ouch, don't do that. That didn't feel good. Ooh, that did not feel good. Ooh. What just happened was I had my finger here and then this thing just launched up and hit me right in the thumb. Ugh. That felt really good. Cool. Okay. I look so much fat. God, Jesus Christ, I look terrible. Now we're gonna take the CV axle out of the PTU on this side and then out of the transmission on the other side. It will drain some fluid, not like all of it, but to keep it more manageable, I am going to just drain some fluid out. And this is one way to check, I guess, to see the transmission fluid. And to drain it, use the 11mm socket. I'm using the smallest ratchet for this, but that should be enough strength to pop it off. Oh, maybe not. Okay. It's probably gonna be black just because I don't think the fluid was fully drained when I bought this thing, but I guess we'll see. Oh yeah, it's freaking pretty black. It's like I don't even know what the issue is. That's the thing. I'm doing this right now with the hunch that it's the PTU and that it's not something else. But I don't even know if it is the PTU. There's symptoms that it could be, but I don't even know. This just worries me so much. Again, this is a remanufactured, or a junkyard, I should say. All right, so next thing we're gonna do, in order to take off this CV axle on the passenger side, we have to take off this clamp here. And this takes a, I think it's 2, I know it's 2 for sure, but 13mm longer socket is what you're gonna need to take these guys out. I'm just hoping that this angle is good. Okay, yeah, you should be able to reach it from here. It's easier with the hose out, but I really don't want to take that out. I took these hoses out when I did the transmission, but it makes it a little bit easier without the hoses, but you can still get to it. That one there, and then you have one up here. But these are brand new parts that I replaced when I did the transmission. Ford recommends you changing it if you've never have and you're dealing with this. But now, pretty much because this is all taken care of, we have to now slide this out. It's slowly but surely coming out. You just have to be patient with it. Alright, so I'm just coming from under here just to pull it. It's got a long shaft. And that's it. And that is how you take out a 2014 Ford Escape CV axle on the passenger side. And for the driver's side, it is pretty much the same thing, but it has like a shorter angle to it. It's a little bit easier on this side, I think, if I remember correctly, because you can like directly pull from this guy here. So right now I'm underneath the car. I'm gonna try to use a crowbar to pry out the thing and then have one hand on there pulling. Since there was no fluid coming from that side, I'm gonna put this here just in case there is fluid there. But that should have been enough to pull it because it fully separated from itself. There it goes. And this one's out. I am gonna raise the car up a bit more, just gets easier access because I have to be like in the middle of the car. All right, just to make the drive shaft easier, we're taking off this here. We're not taking out the subframe, but just this bar here. Not even that part, just the long bar. And they all use 15mm bolts. All right. We're just gonna push that over there. So after taking off that plate thing, it gives you more access to get to the drive shaft. So there's these 6 bolts here, and we're gonna be taking those out. They use a T45 on here, so they are attached with these plate things. So see that black little thing? They have like the 2, there's 3 holders but 6 bolts, so 2 bolts per holder, and we're just gonna be taking those out. You do have to spin the drive shaft in order to grab all of them. I'm using this adapter here with the T45, and then it's a bendy one. I think this should work. I think before I used like a regular one, but I'm gonna see if this is gonna work. He's a little sad, but he gets happy. Anyways, we're gonna try this out. It's such an uncomfortable spot to just keep your head up like that. I did get one out, but I'm gonna have to grab like a padding for my head. So I got that one there loosened. I'm gonna get this one loosened, and then I'm gonna rotate the drive shaft. All right, so that's the one taken out here. If they fall, it's not that hard to grab, so you're okay. But see how that part fell off right there? So that you have to do now 3 times, because now you have to spin the drive shaft, and it's pretty hard to do. At least mine is. And I wonder if that was the reason why that this is having issues, because maybe there was some signs pointing to it, because when I was watching the other guy do it, when I was swapping the transmission, he was doing it with like one hand relatively easily. Like it was still a struggle. For me, I have to use both my hands and it barely moves. And I have pretty strong forearms and like grip strength. So I found that kind of odd. So maybe that's why it's just like grinding or something. Like it just not working correctly. I got something in my eye. I would definitely wear glasses under here, especially when your exhaust looks like this. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna take the rest of these out, and then that should be that. But I'm gonna put the car in neutral as well. That way the drive shaft can move. Because when I was doing the transmission, I was in neutral the whole time, because it makes one of the parts easier to do. So if you don't have your battery connected or anything, you can't put it in neutral. If you don't have your thing, because you do have to go into neutral. But if you don't, I will show you guys how to put it in neutral. Show you a little extra step. Just from the bottom here, just pull that like there, and then that just pretty much comes off immediately. And then once you're here, there's a there's this white tab here where my finger is. You'll see it, just a white plastic tab. Once you pull that plastic piece back, you will see it lets you go and switch it into whatever you need to switch it to. So that is how you put it in neutral without a battery. All right, so once you're in neutral, you just want to get those bolts lined up to where they were, so you can take the rest off And now since we're neutral, we can actually spin it, but I'm gonna have to do it with, again, 2 hands because it's just really, really hard to do for some reason. And I think that's the reason for the PTU being an issue, is even the drive shaft itself is like really hard to move. So you see how I'm barely like moving that drive shaft. It's such a pain to move. And when I was watching the other guy do it, he was doing it with 1 hand a lot easier than that. So I'm not sure if the PTU just is so gunky inside, especially now because it's cold and like, you know, oil will even get thicker, that it's just making it way worse than it is. So all the bolts are out. Can't really tell, but yes, they are all out, and now pretty much the drive shaft is going to be disconnected from that once I start taking that off. Other than that, I think we're really close. This bracket here, these 5 bolts around, I might have to take this off just because that seems to be in the way, unless I can shift it this way and then down. These are 13 millimeters that we're gonna have to take off, the 5, and then those are 10 millimeters for the bracket. So we'll start with the bracket, take that off. So these are the 10 millimeter bolts that we're taking out. There's the 2 that are on this side here. The bottom one off. Now I'm gonna do the top one. Once you break them off, they're pretty much hand threaded. Again, this might be a little bit harder and they might be a little bit more cruddy. But again, I replaced these, not replaced, but I did this. I think I did actually, I don't remember what bolts I replaced, but I did this not that long ago. So for the one sitting on the motor, you're gonna need a extended one just because this gets in the way. But with an extended one, you should be able to get in there relatively easy. And then that starts becoming loose, and you can probably do it with your hand by now. I barely did it with the thing, and then yeah, it becomes hand threaded loose. And there it is right there. It's coming out. Once that's out, make sure that this doesn't fall on your face. And there's the bracket, and all the 3 bolts are the same. Once that bracket's out, now let's start taking these guys out. So we grab the 13 millimeter. I don't remember if I used PB Blast. I don't think I did before, but it should come off easy. I'm just trying to protect my hand so I don't hit them against something here. Just because I'm using a pretty small head, I should have grabbed the bigger one, but I did not. All right, there's one. And once you break it loose, it's hand threaded easy, so it's just breaking it loose. When you do this job, technically you're supposed to replace these bolts. I was supposed to replace them when I replaced the transmission, but I didn't. And the reason I didn't replace them is because they were, I think, $18 per bolt. And there's 5. It was like 80 bucks for some basic bolts that don't even use like thread lock. It doesn't even use thread lock, so I'm like, what the hell? So I didn't replace them. Yeah, I wish I had the longer one. I'm too lazy to get up and grab it for the big guy. Like dragging my whole body, and I am a 300-pound man. I forgot what these are torqued to, but on the installation process, I will show you guys. This is an easy, fun part of just taking it out. All right, so we got the 3 off here. The other 2 are up top, but we're gonna have to take off the heat shield. And to take off the heat shield, I do have to take off this hose. So pretty much we're going to remove this guy here, and then this guy up here. There it is, on the other side. But these 2 hose clamps, just to remove, we don't have to remove this whole thing because we're not dealing with that. Just this part here. That way we can take off the heat shield. There's gonna be 3 bolts up there. I'll tell you the sizes here in a second. I only have 2 because that third one, impossible to put on, literally impossible. So I only have the 2 on there, but it's just a heat shield and just holding that, so shouldn't be an issue if you can't do it. But yeah, you should have 3 up there. We'll get there when we get there. But yes, next step, let's take these guys off. 7mm is what you're gonna need to take off at least the clamps that I have. There's also Phillips on there, so you can do that and pull this guy off. And that's the turbo inlet hose, outlet hose, I don't even know, but cool. And then this is where you put a 67, 68 precision turbo on this bitch and make it really explode. I'm kidding, but yes, there's some kind of freaking oil leak going on here. Not sure from what. So now we can get to the heat shield, and there's a screw right here, which I'll try to show you guys. I just don't know how that's gonna be. All right, I don't know if you guys can see, but we have that bolt there, and then there should be one right here, unless this is the one I didn't put in. I can't tell from my hands. But yeah, there's one there, and then there should be one back here somewhere, like all the way over here. I don't know if that's showing you guys, but yeah, this is one of them, that's one of them. Another one back there, but I did not put that one in. And those are the ones that we have to take off, and they are, I'm so sorry, I'm an idiot. For the clamps, they were size 7s. My bad on that. I thought I grabbed a size 8, but size 8 is what you need for the heat shield. So just get that on there. Just take off these bolts and the heat shield will come out. Annoyingly kind of hard, but I will show you guys here in a bit. And this is what they look like. Pretty small guys. Heat shield is fully loosened. To take it out, you just have to kind of mess around with it, but it's kind of a pain because of the shape of it. You have to like rotate it and just kind of mess around. Sometimes you have to, I think if I remember correctly, I had to like bend this back a little bit, this heat shield as well, to get it out, but all right, so I'm kind of just push it upwards more to go this way, and I think that's it right there. So I pulled it just more towards the passenger side, and that's that. So you can see the 3 holes. I only have these 2 on. That one I literally could not put back on, nor will I, because 1, I don't have the bolt, at least I don't think I do, but 2, fuck this car. Anyways, that's off. So now we can have the access point to the last 2 bolts. I don't know if you can see a bolt from there. I don't think you can see the one down here, but it's just really hard to show with the flashlight and the camera. But yes, one bolt is right here, literally on the corner of where my finger is. You can't see it, but you can probably see the tip of it there. And then the other one is to the right of it a little bit, like right on the center of this guy. You'll feel it. But yeah, the hardest one to take out, I believe, is the inside one, if I remember correctly, but I could be wrong. I don't remember which one it is. This one's kind of hard to access, but I think I'll show you a trick with that one. Anyways, so this just came off. This is the what the hell? I know what this is. This is like the vent for the PTU. This just literally like fell on my face. Completely shredded on this side. And like fully dried and burnt. Look at that, it's like charcoal coming out. Yeah, it's like fully dried out. What the hell? This one is the hardest to get to because it's in such a small, tight area, and you have to use like a tiny wrench or a tiny ratchet and you can get to it. Let me take it off and then I'll show you guys the rest. The lighting is just terrible, but you can see it's kind of loosening up. It's just such an intricate spot where, again, I will show you guys now before I take it off. So you have to use like a tiny little ratchet. This one's nice because it has a flexible head. I got this off Temu actually, I think. But yeah, it has like a flexible head. And this is like the only thing that has worked for me. No way to torque that. You can't torque it, there's no way. So I just tighten it with this, and then I use like a thick wrench and like just tighten it as much as I can. I was luckily able to take it off with this. But now I'm just kind of loosening. You have to put your hands in there. You can't wrap your hand around because it gets blocked through, so you have to use this. But then it gets to the point where like you can't use it because it just keeps wiggling back and forth. And then you can do it with your fingers, and then it stops because it gets stuck and you have to keep doing it and just mess with it. Very tight spot. Really good placement by Ford, like everything else that they do. But yeah, I'm gonna take that one off. I did put this one back on. Sorry, the lighting is always just freaking bad because like my head gets in the way and then there's just a big shadow spot. But I did put the one on the bottom back on. I didn't like fully tighten. I just kind of did just a little bit, just so when I take those ones off that I have the easy one to get. That way I can support it with my other hand, because this is quite heavy. I think it's like 30 pounds or something, maybe a little bit less, I forgot. But yeah, just make sure you're not taking the top one off and then it just collapses. But I don't know, again, if I just have to take these ones off without taking this off. But I think we should be okay because I can just pull it to the thing and go forward. But yeah, just that bolt, and then I have that top one. They're like just really hard to get to. That's just the biggest issue. But once you get to them, then it's easy going. But yeah, just getting to them is just a pain. But I will get back to you guys when those are done. I just remembered something else, that this was an issue. So you can't use the ratchet fully to take off this bolt because then it touches the PTU and then your ratchet can't get out and the bolt can't come out. So now I have to get like a little screwdriver to push it so I can put it back in and actually try it with my fingers, even though I couldn't get it with my fingers. It's such a beautiful design by Ford. This car really should go into like the Nobel Peace Prize of the best vehicle ever made in history. About 15 minutes to take this bolt out because I have to go back in to take that ratchet out. My hands are fucking destroyed because of that, because the heat shields around them are so thin too. Like this part right here is just cutting into you. Just like the worst place to put a bolt. Anyways, now we got one more. All right, so for the last one, we're gonna use an extender. It just depends on what size extender you need. You probably don't need the extra piece, but you just have to use some extenders and you should be able to line it up. Let's see if I can figure it out. I don't know how long this shaft is, probably like a 6-inch shaft. I'm gonna try it just with this. We might need that extender. I feel like this is a bit too long though, because the turbo gets in the way. I really don't want this to be being not cross-threaded, but like what's it called, like if it's slipping. This would be the bolt that it would happen. I really hope that's not what's happening right now. Oh my fucking god. It couldn't have been that one. It couldn't have been that one. That one. Nope. It has to be the hardest one to fucking get to. I jinxed myself earlier so fucking hard. I have a suspicion that something's gonna come up and it's gonna be a pain in the ass or something bad. Because this is just too easy now, right? That sucks so bad right now. I'm going to have to figure this out. But that should be the end of the process. But it's not. All right, it's about 2 days later and I ordered these tools. Sorry if the sun blinds you, but I was kind of working on it before getting there, and we got it out. I ordered this thing. See that? This is a 15 millimeter, so 9/16, or at least it's a 9/16 is all it says, but it came with a whole set for like 40 bucks. I'll link in the description down below. This shit was amazing. It caught it and just was able to get it off. Cause yeah, the other ones were just slipping no matter what I was doing. So you can see like the corners are pretty gone. So I'll order a new bolt for this one at least, but we did get it off. So now what's holding the PTU in place is this last bolt, but I don't know, I might have to take off this lower transmission mount either way. I'm gonna try it without it, because I remember having to get like a jack to lift the transmission up a little bit, to like not bend, but to maneuver this PTU back in to get the drive shaft on there, unless I just didn't do the drive shaft part first. I remember it being kind of a pain to put the PTU back into the drive shaft. But either way, I'm just gonna now take off this bolt and see if it comes off. Hopefully it does, but we will see. So let me grab, yeah, but this tool, incredible. Should grab this. It's 13 magnetic and should be good. Okay, yeah, PTU is definitely loose, so I don't think I have to take off anything else. I might have to maneuver the whole like engine to put it back in, or possibly fix my mistake of lifting the drive shaft up before putting the PTU back in. I think that's what I did wrong last time. So, but yeah, it's that. Oh yeah, it's definitely loose. So, and again, when you're taking off the PTU, be careful because it is quite heavy, about I think 30 pounds or so, I forget, but that's why I'm kind of out in the way. I never like to work on things right under them, just in case anything drips out or it's heavy, and I'd rather want the part to fall rather than, like, you know, fall on the floor rather than it fall on my face. So, oh yeah, no, we're good. Okay, and that is how you take off a Ford Escape PTU. Would have been done in about 4 hours. I think I finished in like 4 hours, even less. Again, taking my time, not going to, I never really rush it. But again, the delay of that last bolt. But if you have that kind of tool and it does mess up, then you should be fine. Yeah, that's the PTU. That's the part that connects to the drive shaft there. It's just funny how I jinxed myself with, this is all going really easy, and then the last bolt had to get stripped. But anyways, here is the PTU. This is another set of wheels for the Prius, because I need to get some winter tires on there. That's why I have so much stuff. Those tires need to be mounted on here. Then I need to sell those wheels. Those are my mini wheels. Tires, I mean, wheels are inside the mini. It's all over the place. But anyways, PTU. Here she is. So this might have been the issue. This is definitely my fault. When I installed it back up, I'm gonna have to order another one of these like breather hoses, because that's like this. So this got caught somewhere in between, and I'm not sure where, because when I put it through, it was fine. So I don't know what it got caught on. Try not to breathe this stuff in. But yeah, that might have been part of the issue. But again, it was leaking through right here, so I might need to just replace this ring right here. But I do want to take this like apart. This is the plan for this, is to take it apart and fully clean the inside of it, getting the old sludgy fluid out, because again, when I was replacing it with that gear oil, barely any went in and a lot would come out, so it was just getting sludged up, I think, and it was causing it to overheat. So with replacing this tube, which I'm gonna have to find and order, taking the thing apart and then putting it back in will be a full other thing. I might do a separate video of just the disassembly of this, or at least the cleaning of it, and then there'll be a video on installing it. On the next video, we will be replacing this. I'll put the part numbers down there. But other than that, that is how you take out a PTU out of a Ford Escape 2013 through 2019, 18, somewhere around there. It's probably about the same on other Ford Escapes, but I heard on the newer ones it's a lot easier, I think, but I'm not exactly sure. But anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me on this one. If you guys liked it, hit the like button down below. If you want to see more and the installation, even though it's a reverse process, but I'm needing content because I want to upload frequently, but I have nothing to upload because my life is pretty bland and boring. If you guys want to see more, hit the subscribe button down below. And yeah, I'm about to start working on this guy too, so if you guys want to see what's going on with this thing, because she does not start, hit the subscribe button down below. We're making that into a daily race car, kind of. Not really, we're not doing really anything to it, but I want to go to the track with it. Anyways, if you guys want to follow that, whatever, hit the subscribe button down below. Yeah, you guys have a wonderful, beautiful day. D-Sec 208's out.